Space was quiet, dark, silent. But something moved. A tiny ship floated slowly near Earth's border zone. It was small, smaller than a fighter jet. No escort, no backup, no signal, just moving forward. Inside Earth's main war station, alarms rang. Red lights flashed across every screen. Commander Veer stood at the center of the command bridge. He was tall, calm, and known for winning big battles. His eyes stared at the screen. "Zoom in," he ordered. The screen showed a strange ship. It was shaped like a smooth triangle, glowing faint blue from below. No engines could be seen, no guns, no shields. "What is this toy?" One officer laughed. "Some rich alien kid got lost?" Others laughed too, but not Veer. He narrowed his eyes. "Scan it." The technician typed fast. "Sir, the scanners show nothing. No weapons, no power source, no crew, just metal." "How's it flying then?" Veer asked. The tech shook his head. "I don't know, sir." In the control room nearby, Captain Mira watched the screens. She had seen many alien ships, fighters, bombers, invaders. But this one felt different. It wasn't trying to hide. It wasn't fast. It was just there, like it wanted to be noticed. She whispered, "Something's wrong. It wants us to see it." Back on the war bridge, another officer said, "Should we shoot it down?" "Commander," Veer frowned, "it's inside our restricted war zone. It shouldn't be here." "Then let's fire, sir. It's not doing anything." Veer looked at the ship again. "And that's what bothers me. It's not even scared." Suddenly a message appeared on every screen. 3 words only. "Observe. Do not fire." The room went silent. Mira walked in. That ship sent the message, direct quantum pulse. Very advanced. Another officer laughed. "It's alone." "What can it do?" 10 minutes later, a fleet of 10 Earth warships moved into position. Huge battleships with missiles, lasers, nukes, all pointed at the tiny ship. "All ships in place," said a voice. Commander Veer nodded. "If it moves toward Earth, we blast it." Suddenly the lights flickered. "Sir, systems are acting strange." The screens flashed. The tiny ship was glowing slightly. Still not moving, just glowing. Then, everything went black. Across all 10 Earth warships, every system shut down. Engines, weapons, shields, even emergency lights. Inside each ship, the crew panicked. "What's happening?" Who shut the power? Did the alien fire something? But the strange thing was, no one heard or felt anything. No blast, no sound, no shockwave. Commander Veer's ship, the Atlas, was hit first. The crew saw a flash from the alien ship. Blue light. No explosion. No damage. Just light. Then, nothing. They looked out the windows. The alien ship was gone. But then, someone shouted, "Wait, we're gone." From Earth Station, the entire ship Atlas vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded, just disappeared. Gone from radar. Gone from scanners. No signal, no wreckage, just empty space. Panic broke out. Where is the Atlas? Did the ship fire something? Did it teleport it? Veer was still calm. Inside Atlas, even he didn't understand what happened. They were now inside a dark field. No stars, no movement, just black void. The crew screamed. "Are we dead?" "No," Veer said. "We're somewhere else." Back on Earth Command, Captain Mira stared at the last log data. The alien ship had sent out a pulse, a strange wave no one had seen before. She called in Dr. Ryan, a young human scientist known for alien tech study. "This energy," Ryan said, "it bends reality. It doesn't destroy. It moves things." "You mean that ship moved our warship?" Ryan nodded slowly. "Yes, it moved the Atlas into another place. Not space, not time, a folded reality." "But why?" Ryan stared at the message again. "Observe. Do not fire. Inside the void, Commander Veer tried to reach Earth. No signal, nothing goes out, the tech said. They floated, silent, trapped. Suddenly, the ship's screen flickered. A video played. It showed Earth. Not now. In the future. Earth burning, Earth cities falling, Earth people screaming, and above Earth, that same tiny alien ship. Commander Veer stood up. That ship, it's not a ship, it's a warning. The screen changed again, a message in bold, glowing letters. You still wish to mock us? Back at Earth Command, another message appeared on every system, even the classified ones. Return the silence or face the sound. No one understood what it meant, but Mira did. They want peace. They gave us a chance. But now, they're testing us. What do we do? Asked the Chief Admiral. Mira looked at the stars. We wait. Meanwhile, far from Earth, the tiny alien ship reappeared. Alone, silent, floating above a dead moon. Its single glowing eye stared across the galaxy. Whisper traveled through the stars. First strike was not ours. The second will not be a warning. The warship Atlas was gone. No explosion, no smoke, just gone. One moment it was in formation with Earth's proudest fleet. The next, empty space. Inside Earth's command center, panic grew fast. Search again, one officer shouted. It must be cloaked, another yelled. No, Captain Mira said. It didn't cloak, it vanished. She stood in silence, her eyes locked on the hollow space where Atlas once floated. She had seen battles, real war. But this was something else. It took our best ship without touching it, she whispered. Aboard the second command ship Gladius, alarms kept ringing. Commander Reyes, hot-headed and proud, slammed his fist on the table. It's a trick, just alien magic, fake lights, nothing real. But a young engineer, Lieutenant Harris, raised his hand. Sir, with respect, the ship didn't disappear. It moved. What are you saying? I scanned deep space. The coordinates of Atlas have shifted by a fraction. Reyes frowned. To where? Lieutenant Harris hesitated. I don't know. Inside the void, Commander Veer and his crew aboard Atlas still floated in darkness. No stars, no signals, just black. A navigator said, life support is fine. But time, it feels slower, someone added. Veer stood in the center of the control deck, calm as ever, thinking. Suddenly, the dark outside pulsed, like a heartbeat, and then a voice echoed not through speakers, but directly into their minds. You laugh at the unknown, you mock the silence, but silence listens. The crew gasped. Who said that? Veer raised his hand. No one panic. It's communicating. Back on Earth, scientists gathered to study the strange data. Dr. Rayan looked pale. It didn't use force. It used dimensional folding. Captain Mira asked, like teleportation? More than that, Rayan replied. It folded space, like paper. It didn't move Atlas through space, it moved space around Atlas. The room went silent. An old general stepped forward. You're telling me this ship can choose which laws of physics to obey? Yes, Rayan said. And worse, it doesn't see us as a threat. A new message appeared on all Earth stations. One ship, one fold, one warning. Captain. Mira stared at it. It's keeping count. Inside the void, the crew of Atlas received visions, short flashes of unknown worlds, planets floating upside down, stars frozen in time, civilizations turned to dust. Commander Veer breathed slowly. This isn't war, this is a lesson. His science officer said, Sir, we're detecting echoes like we're in a memory. A memory of what? I think, of its past victims. Suddenly, another vision arrived, a bright red planet with cities built in circles, a peaceful, Race walked its surface. Happy. Calm. Then one day, a group of warships arrived. Human ships. A younger fleet. "We know this planet," Veer whispered. "That's from 10 years ago." The crew watched. Humans bombing it. No reason. No warning. The red planet turned black. The vision ended. "You fired first," the voice said. "You called us toys. We waited. We warned." Back on Earth, Mira pulled up secret archives. Red folders, sealed by top command. She found it. Operation Glass Drop date. 10 years ago. Target. Red Planet Sector. 7K mission status. Complete reason. Unknown. File corrupted. Her hands shook. "We did this." Dr. Rayan looked at her. "You understand now. That ship wasn't the first move. It's the answer." Admiral Shore entered the room. Old but sharp-eyed. He had seen the file too. "We thought no one survived that mission," he said. "We thought it was just a rock with strange tech." "It wasn't," Mira replied. "It was a home. A memory." Suddenly the alien ship reappeared near Earth's moon. 1 second, nothing. Next second, it was just there, still glowing, still silent, still alone. But now, Earth's fleet looked small. General Reyes, watching from Gladius, shouted, "It's back! Weapons ready!" Captain Mira's voice came through the line. "No, do not fire. It wants you to." But he didn't listen. Gladius aimed everything. Lasers, nukes, railguns. The alien ship still didn't move. Reyes smirked. "Let's see you survive this, little freak." Fire. All weapons triggered at once. The space between Gladius and the alien ship shimmered, and every weapon froze mid-flight. Missiles hung in the air like statues. Lasers turned into lines of frozen light. Then, the weapons reversed. Every shot turned, aimed back. At Gladius. Reyes stared in horror. "What have I done?" Boom! One of Earth's top ships was wiped out by its own firepower. The alien ship still didn't move. Captain Mira watched the destruction. She whispered, "It doesn't kill to win. It kills to teach." A new message appeared on all screens. "You were warned. One vanished, one destroyed, one remains." Everyone knew what it meant. Only one chance left. Inside the void, Commander Veer and his crew saw the final vision, Earth. Split into two. One side alive, peaceful, full of stars. The other, burned, broken, silent. The ship asked one final question. "Which Earth do you choose?" The second will not be a warning. The alien ship had fired no weapons, but one Earth warship vanished. One exploded. Now, only one chance remained. Inside Earth Command, the air was thick with fear. Even the strongest generals stood silent. Across the galaxy, thousands watched, from hidden stations and satellites. Everyone knew humanity had met something it didn't understand. Captain Mira stared at the message on the screen. One vanished, one destroyed, one remains. She spoke calmly. "They are not here to fight. They are here to finish what we started." An older officer leaned forward. "We can't sit back, Captain. That ship is mocking us in front of the galaxy." "Mocking?" Mira shook her head. "No, it's warning us, and we keep failing to listen." Inside Earth's War Council chamber, top generals argued. "This is weakness," one shouted. "We strike with everything." Another yelled. "EMP bombs, quantum fire, everything we have." General Shore stood up. He was the oldest in the room, a man with a history few dared to question. His voice was quiet. "We started this 10 years ago," he said. "That red planet, we didn't bomb it because of war. We bombed it because we were afraid." The room went still. Shore continued. "The tech we found there, it scared us. We didn't try to understand, we destroyed it." Now everyone looked at him. "You mean?" Mira asked. "Yes," Shore said. "That small ship is one of the survivors. Outside Earth's orbit, the alien ship hovered near the moon. It didn't move, it didn't glow, it just waited. Then, a new signal came. Not to Earth's ships, not to their satellites, but directly into the mind of Commander Veer, still trapped in the dark dimension. One soul may return. One choice. Veer felt the message like a cold wind in his bones. His crew stood behind him, confused, scared. "What did it say, sir?" his second-in-command asked. Veer looked out at the black space. "It wants one of us," he said, "to go inside the ship." Back on Earth, Captain Mira also received the message, this time in text. "Send one human aboard. No weapons, no lies, no fear." The council went wild again. "It's a trap. They'll steal their mind. They want a hostage." But Mira didn't shout. She asked just one question: who will go? In a quiet room, an old man stepped forward, Dr. Ryan, the scientist who decoded the alien pulses. "Their language," he said, "is not of the mouth. It's of the mind. I've studied it for years. I may understand it better than anyone." Mira stepped closer. "You think they'll let you board?" "I think they're asking for someone who listens," Ryan said, "not someone who fights." Earth Command hesitated. Some said no, some said yes, but time was running out. The alien ship's light began pulsing again. 1, 2, 3, a countdown. Mira stood and shouted, "Send Ryan!" In space, a small pod was launched. No weapons, no engine, just a floating chair, a suit, and one man inside. As it approached the alien ship, the galaxy held its breath. Would he be vaporized? Would he vanish? Would he die? But something stranger happened. The pod stopped. The alien ship opened, silently. No door, just a ripple in space. Dr. Ryan floated inside. What he saw was not metal. There were no walls, no floor, no lights, just energy, moving shapes, thoughts. He felt memories, not his own. He saw the red planet, children playing under 2 suns, their homes made of light and crystal. And then, fire from above, human warships, screaming, ash. A voice spoke in his mind. "Why do your people fear silence?" He answered softly, "Because silence hides danger or pain." "No, silence is memory. You erased our memory. We came to ask, why?" Ryan couldn't answer. He saw more visions, Earth's early missions. Planets burned not for war, but for fear, for control. He whispered, "We were afraid. We thought destroying made us strong. But now you know. 3 warnings, 1 chance." Then, something unexpected happened. The alien ship showed him something else. A possible future where Earth and the alien race work together. Faster ships, cured diseases, no wars. A galaxy united, Ryan cried. "Why show me this?" "Because you listened." And just like that, he was back. The pod floated gently back to Earth orbit. No harm, no fear. Just one new message. Final test. Let the last ship decide. Choose silence or scream. Captain Mira read the words. "What does it mean?" Dr. Ryan stood weakly, but calm. "They will not attack unless we do. They've given us every chance. The last warship has to stay still." Everyone turned to the final ship in orbit. It was called Hammerfall. On board, Commander Klein, a man known for his temper. Inside Hammerfall, Klein was furious. "Why are we letting them play games with us?" he shouted. "We're Earth! We don't kneel!" He saw the alien ship right outside his window, silent, still. He raised his fist. "Load all weapons, ready to fire." But his weapons officer hesitated. "Sir, if we fire and they react..." "I said fire." But before the command could go through, a voice echoed through the bridge. Not from a speaker. From everywhere. "You struck first. You end it now, or we do." Commander Klein froze. Then, his control panels went dark. Every screen, every button. Dead. The ship wasn't destroyed, just disabled. Klein dropped to his knees. He realized something. They were never fighting back. They were holding back. And then, the alien ship vanished. No sound, no flash, just gone. A new message arrived. This was not a war. This was a lesson. Remember it. The alien ship was gone. No explosion, no escape trail, just silence. But something was left behind. A single black cube floated in orbit, smooth, cold, unmoving. Earth's command team brought it aboard the science station Argus. Every scanner failed. No heat, no signal, no power. But when Dr. Ryan touched it, it glowed. He whispered, "It's not a weapon. It's a memory." Inside Earth's High Command, the cube was placed in a sealed chamber. Generals, scientists, and diplomats watched as Ryan linked it to a visual feed. Then, light filled the room, and the memory began. They saw the red planet again, its skies, its people, its peace. But then, the story changed. The aliens had once been explorers, gentle, curious, filled with wonder. They traveled the stars, taught languages, shared water with worlds that had none. Then, they found Earth. At first, they stayed hidden. Watching humans grow, they saw art, they saw war, they saw kindness and cruelty. But one signal changed everything. Transmission from Earth's first deep space colony. The words were simple. Claim all, control all, we are the future. The alien race called the Yanari sent a peaceful envoy, one small ship. No weapons, it never returned. Humans destroyed it. That's when the Yanari changed. They went silent. They didn't fight back. They didn't threaten. They waited. For 10 years, they built one ship, small, silent, smart. It held not missiles, but memories. Back in the chamber, Earth's leaders saw a chilling scene. Human warships bombing the red planet. Screams from civilians. No soldiers, no weapons, just fear. General Shaw turned pale. This was never supposed to be seen. Captain Mira whispered, "This is what they remembered." Dr. Ryan pointed to one image on the feed, a glowing circle buried deep under the red planet's surface. "That's not natural," he said. "That is human." Mira stepped closer. "Wait, are you saying we placed something there?" Ryan nodded slowly. "A device, a test, one we forgot." The scene changed again. Inside the buried circle was a small metal core. It pulsed blue. It spread invisible waves, and those waves reached the Yanari minds. Not to talk, not to spy, but to influence. "We built a control beacon," Ryan whispered. "Not to destroy, but to bend thoughts." It had been a prototype, a failed one, but it stayed underground for years, whispering into Yanari minds, changing them, breaking them. That's why they never attacked. They didn't want war. They wanted to be free from Earth's silent grip. One last vision appeared, the Yanari child, small, crystal-skinned, walking through fire. Its eyes glowed like stars. It looked straight into the camera, and it spoke. Not with a voice, but with thought. "You made us forget who we were, but we remember now." The memory ended. The cube dimmed. The room fell silent. Everyone stared. Captain Mira was the first to speak. "We didn't just fire first. We reached into their minds and twisted them. That's why they built that ship. That's why they showed mercy. They remember who we were and who we could be." General Reyes stood shaken. "All these years, we thought We were defending Earth, but we were the ones who broke the peace. Suddenly, a low hum filled the chamber. The cube glowed again. A new message appeared in the air. We offer one final truth. If you build the beacon again, we won't just fold space. We'll fold time, and Earth will vanish before it began. Panic spread. Some didn't believe it. Others begged to destroy the cube. But Mira raised her voice. No, we don't hide from this. We learn. We remember. Dr. Rayan stood beside her. The ship could have erased us, but instead it gave us this. He tapped the cube gently. This is a second chance. Later that night, across Earth's military bases, strange shutdowns occurred. Every weapon that used deep neural tech powered off. Every quantum signal node scrambled. Every old archive rewritten. As if the alien ship had cleaned the dust from Earth's future. Captain Mira stood on the command deck, staring at the stars. They could come back, someone said. Mira replied, they will, but not to fight, to see if we listened. Dr. Rayan hadn't slept in 2 days. The cube was no longer just a memory holder. It had changed. It now pulsed with symbols no one could explain. Not language, not numbers. Equations, but not Earth equations. The science station Argus was now locked to outsiders. Only trusted minds remained, engineers, physicists, language experts, and one rule was clear: no experiments. Only observe. But observation turned to obsession. Rayan saw it first, an equation that had no solution. It didn't describe gravity, not mass, not time, it bent them. One variable seemed alive, shifting slightly as Rayan stared at it. This is code for reality itself, he whispered. Captain Mira visited the lab. What are we looking at, Rayan? He didn't turn. We are staring at their version of physics. They don't follow our laws. They wrote their own. Rayan showed Mira a glowing diagram. It had no straight lines, only curves that looped into themselves. It's not technology, Rayan said. It's intention. They shaped space, not with engines, but with will. Back on Earth, strange things were happening. A satellite that had gone missing 3 years ago suddenly returned to orbit, with no damage. A small island in the Pacific, once lost to rising seas, resurfaced overnight. And a telescope in Chile caught something impossible, a star blinking in reverse. Time wasn't breaking, it was responding. General Shore ordered a team to analyze the data. We need to know if this is an attack. But Mira disagreed. No, it's a test. They left behind their laws. They want to see what we do with them. One scientist, Elna Zhao, made a breakthrough. She linked the alien equation to a simple Earth circuit, and suddenly, gravity changed in a test room. Objects floated. Some moved backward. One glass of water spun into a sphere and stayed there. This is not a weapon. Elna said, it's a choice. Rayan added a new discovery. They left us this power, but the moment we try to use it for control, the math breaks. Mira asked, you mean it can detect intention? Yes, he said. It can tell if we use it for peace or power. But not everyone agreed. Commander Klein, still bitter from losing control of Hammerfall, had gathered his own group. They called themselves the True Edge. We lost our pride, he said in a hidden message. We let aliens make us doubt who we are, but if they gave us a new weapon, we'll use it first. One night, Rayan's lab was broken into, files were copied, equations stolen, and a dark facility near Mars, the abandoned Rise station, lit up again for the first time in years. Captain Mira was informed too late. Klein had already launched a prototype ship, small, fast, alien-powered. He called it Razor, One, and it vanished in a blink, not through a wormhole, but through reality itself. Back at Argus, alarms rang. The cube glowed red. A new message appeared. You tried to fold what was not yours. The edge now cuts both ways. Razor 1 reappeared. Seconds later, burning, every panel cracked, its hull peeled open like paper. Inside, time itself twisted, frames repeating, freezing, then aging. Klein screamed over the comms, "It's not power, it's a cage. Turn it off, turn it off." And then, silence. The ship crumbled into dust. The cube went dark, not broken, just done. Mira stared at the ruins of Razor 1. Her voice shook. They warned us. It was never about tech. It was about trust. Rayan stepped beside her. The cube wasn't a gift. It was a mirror. It showed us who we are. One last line faded into the cube's surface. You passed one test, but not all. Later that night, Elna Zhao entered her lab alone. She pulled out one piece of paper, handwritten. It wasn't an alien formula. It was her own, a small idea, just enough to bend one field. To lift a broken tree, to stop a bullet without firing one, a peaceful use, and as she placed her hand on the cube, it blinked once. Soft, blue. Somewhere across the galaxy, a Yanari child looked up from a glowing console. She chose peace, the child said. The elder beside them nodded. Then the next path opens. Elna Zhao stood alone in the cube chamber. The rest of the team had gone quiet since Razor 1's fall, but she hadn't. While others feared what they saw, Elna studied the patterns, the colors, the rhythm of the pulses, and then she saw something strange. The cube no longer showed equations. Now it showed coordinates. She ran the numbers through old star maps, but the location didn't exist. Not in Earth charts. Not in deep galaxy scans. It was a dead spot. Dark, cold, empty, except it wasn't. Because the cube flashed again, this time showing one line. It was removed. By us. Captain Mira gave permission. Elna, if the cube trusts you, we trust. You. Take the Solace. Find this place. But don't go alone, she added. Take the old crew. We'll watch from orbit. The ship Solace launched in silence. No weapons, only scanners and peace markers. Elna guided them through empty space until something shimmered, a ripple, a blink, a world unfolded. It was beautiful. Green planet floating in golden light. Clear rivers, no satellites, no scars, but not natural. This planet had walls of folded space, like pages wrapped around a secret book. And inside, a city. The crew touched down near a forest of silver trees. No animals, no sounds, but no danger either. Elna led them forward, guided by a strange sense inside her mind. The cube had shown her this path before. They reached the city. It was empty. Not destroyed, just paused. Holograms flickered on buildings, messages written in glowing script. But one stood out, engraved in Earth letters. You arrived, that means you learned. They explored deeper. Elna stepped into a tower shaped like a spiral shell. Inside, walls of light, floating stone panels, each one showing human history, but not real history, a version the Yanari had stored. They saw Earth's first wars, Earth's art, its rise, its hatred, its healing, but mixed in were moments that never happened. A human handshake ending a galactic conflict, a child stopping a riot with a song, an Earth diplomat sacrificing herself to save an alien fleet. Elna turned to the others. These are possibilities, not memories. They saw what could be, not just what was. At the center of the tower sat one object, a chair, not made of metal, not alive, but listening, and beside it, A glowing path only Elna could see. The cube pulsed gently in her pocket. She sat. Suddenly stars lit up across the walls. A soft voice spoke, not aloud, but inside her. You came without force. You listened. Now, we show you the route. Elna's vision faded, then reformed. She was not in the tower anymore. She was somewhere deep beneath it, a dark chamber, floating crystals, echoes of forgotten songs. And, in the middle, a seed, not a plant, not metal, but pure energy. The voice returned. This is our beginning, and our fear. Once we placed these seeds in worlds to watch them grow, but humans changed the soil. Elna saw Earth's past again, a test mission, a human ship landing on a strange moon. The crew found one seed like this and tried to control it. The seed bent. It didn't break, but it remembered and sent its warning home. That warning became the cube, that cube became the ship, and now the last seed waited. The voice grew soft. We do not wish to rule, but if you take this seed, your species joins the path of change, forever. Elna stood. She reached out and touched the seed. There was no blast, no flash, just warmth. Back in the real tower, her eyes opened. The cube glowed white. The city began to move again. Buildings lifted, air shifted. The walls of space bent and opened. Outside, Captain Mira watched as the green planet shimmered. The folded space peeled away, and the hidden world joined the galaxy once more. Mira whispered, "They're letting others see it, because of her." Back in orbit, a dozen races picked up the signal. One message played in every language. Earth did not conquer. Earth listened. The seed is accepted. But not all were happy. In the far reaches of the galaxy, deep behind broken moons, warlords watched the broadcast. One of them growled, "If Earth now carries the seed, then the balance is broken." Another whispered, "Then we burn it before it blooms." The galaxy held its breath. Earth had been chosen. The seed had accepted El Najal, but not everyone was pleased. Far beyond charted space, in the shadows between dying stars, they stirred. A race long believed extinct. Cold. Silent. Watching. The Vulcan were not warriors. They were erasers. They didn't fight battles. They removed futures, and they feared one thing, the seed's awakening. "Humanity cannot be allowed to change the pattern," said their first speaker. "If they succeed, our kind will fade." The Vulcan launched a silent fleet. No heat, no engines, just motion through folded voids like knives through silk. Their target was not Earth, it was Elna, and the seed she carried. Back on the hidden planet, now called Cora, Elna stood inside the spiral tower. The cube pulsed faster each day. The seed, now housed in a containment orb, pulsed with warm light, almost like a heartbeat. Captain Mira's voice came through her comm. "Elna, we've detected something. Moving fast, too quiet, not friendly." Elna didn't panic. She looked at the seed and whispered, "They're coming for you, aren't they?" The seed pulsed twice, soft, then sharp. Outside, Earth ships surrounded Cora, but sensors failed. Targeting broke. Nothing could see the Vulcan ships. They were non-signature vessels, built in a dimension slightly bent. Then came the breach. In orbit, one Earth ship exploded. Without warning. No impact, no beam, just sudden silence. Mira called. "The ground team, prepare evacuation. We're pulling Elna now." But Elna said nothing. She looked at the cube, at the seed, and then walked outside. The spiral tower glowed. The planet responded to her steps. Every plant, every rock, every crystal bent slightly toward her path, as if the world itself protected her. One Vulcan ship broke through the clouds, hovered above the city. No sound, no signal, just a sudden voice, projected from the sky. Return the seed, or this world folds. Elna stood still. She raised the containment orb, the seed pulsing gently inside, and she spoke. Simple words. No. Shouting, "You fear us, because you cannot control us." The Vulcan ship shimmered. A strange light scanned her. "You are unstable, emotional, illogical. The seed should never have accepted you." Elna replied, "It didn't accept me. I listened, I didn't force it. That's something you forgot how to do." The sky split open. 6 more ships, all cloaked, all aiming at Elna, but just as they prepared to strike, the seed lit up, bright, blinding, white and gold, and the cube beside her hovered, spinning, humming like a star's heartbeat. A voice filled the air, but it wasn't human. And it wasn't Vulcan. It was Yanari. "You erased many, you bent truth, but this time, truth stands." Then came the moment no one expected. A Vulcan ship stopped, froze mid-air, and folded in on itself, without impact, like it had never existed. The others hesitated. Elna's voice rang again. "You think peace is weakness, but the seed doesn't choose weakness. It chooses growth. It chooses what could be." The cube pulsed 3 times, and a shockwave spread across the planet, not to destroy, but to reveal. Every building glowed. Every hill rose slightly. The entire world activated, and beneath it all, buried deep, was a network of ancient defense. Rings, not weapons. Memory casters. Captain Mira watched from orbit. Her screen flooded with millions of signals, not attacks, not war codes, but stories. Of every race the seed had ever touched. Of what happened when they chose peace, or when they didn't. The Vulcan ships paused, and one voice whispered, broken, old. "We once held the seed. We broke it. It never returned. Until now." Elna stepped forward. "Then maybe it's your turn to listen." Again. The lead Vulcan ship descended. Slow, no weapons active. A hatch opened. No creature came out, only a small orb. It floated toward Elna, and inside it, a fragment, not of tech, but of memory. The Vulcan had saved something, a single memory. A child. Laughing, not their child, a human child. During first contact, the orb played a small sound, not a warning, a song. The cube responded. It opened one final time, not to give data, not to punish, but to connect. And in that instant, every Vulcan ship powered down. Across the galaxy, signals changed. Races that once feared Earth now watched in silence. And hope, because a truth became clear. The human didn't fight them. She reminded them who they were. On Cora, Elna sat beneath the silver trees. The seed was safe, and the war never came. Because the real war had been inside them all along. Before Elna, before the cube, before the spiral tower awakened, there was a shot, fired by a warship so small the galaxy laughed, mocked by human commanders, dismissed by every radar, but that shot never hit a target. It hit everything. Now, the seed pulsed softly in Elna's hands. Captain Mira stood nearby, her voice quiet. "We never asked why that tiny ship fired." Elna nodded. She had asked herself the same question many times. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a weapon. It was a signal, a start. Back on Earth, history books had begun to rewrite themselves. Children no longer learned about just battles and timelines. They learned about the shot. One single burst of energy fired into empty space. But that shot had bent time. It had called out to the past, to the future, to those who would listen. At a secret observatory on Earth's moon, scientists made a discovery. They had tracked the path of the shot years later, and where it went made no sense. Because it never stopped. It passed through suns. It curved around black holes. It echoed across dark energy like music on water, and then it looped back to the same spot it was fired from. Elna saw the data and whispered, it was always meant to return, to see if we were ready. The galaxy had noticed. Old enemies stopped fighting. New alliances formed, but one race had never been heard from. Since the shot, the builders of the tiny ship, the first to bend reality, the first to plant the seed. The Ynnari. One morning, a ripple appeared in orbit above Earth. No ship, just a light, and inside that light, a voice, calm, soft, not male or female. The shot reached its end, and it found hope. Elna stood under the spiral tower once more. The seed, now fully awakened, lifted from its containment shell. It floated above her hands, no longer glowing gold, now a clear white light, like frozen time. You passed, Elna Jau, the voice said. You did not fight. You listened. You changed the path. Captain Mira asked the question everyone feared. What happens now? The voice replied. Now, the echo becomes a bridge. Above Earth, stars shifted, not exploded, moved. Formations twisted into a perfect spiral in the night sky, visible even to children on rooftops, all pointing to one spot, where the tiny alien ship once appeared. And then, the ship returned. Same size, same shape, same silence, but this time it didn't fire. It opened. A single walkway unfolded to the end of it. No pilot, just a chair. And behind the chair, floating symbols, not instructions, not commands, but an invitation. Elna stepped aboard. No one stopped her, because they all knew. The story started with her. It should end with her. The ship didn't launch. It phased. 1 second she was there, the next, gone. No signal, no trail, only a new echo across time. One final message reached Earth hours later, from the stars, from her. The seed was never just a gift. It was a mirror, and we chose to grow. Years later, humans didn't become conquerors. They became keepers. New ships were built, not for war, but for watching. The Peace Echo Fleet, named after that one shot, and somewhere in the heart of a new galaxy core, they say a woman walks. Beside the stars, not a leader, not a god, just a listener, still carrying the seed, still echoing.